Hey guys, it's Amber, and I am quickly showing you an inspiration that I had found on a t-shirt from Zulily that gave me the idea to create this layout because it made me laugh out loud. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to create a layout about reasons why I give my cats treats. And I added a fourth idea. I was originally going to make this a circular pie chart, and when I was looking through my pie chart, like examples from Ellie Edwards, I saw something in the Pieces story kit that was like a hexagon shape. And then I saw this Yahtzee game box sitting on our game shelf, and I thought that looks like the perfect shape for me to trace and make a page with. Instead of doing a circular template pie chart, I would do this hexagon. So I traced it onto some scrap cardstock. And then I took my ruler, divided it in half, and then one of the halves I divided into thirds. I found center, and then I figured out like where to draw the lines to the points. So I'm cutting it apart and keeping everything here pretty straight. Like I can cut pretty straight lines, but not worrying about doing anything with my trimmer. So what I'm gonna do here is cut out these patterned papers, and I actually really like the 4 that I selected there, and I kind of wish that I had stuck with them, but when I was cutting into pieces, I ended up being inspired by other papers. So the back of the kitten paper, and then I ended up finding a multicolor stripe to help pull in some of the colors. So I'm just getting everything trimmed out here, and as I started to cut the smaller pieces apart, I realized I wanted to make sure, in case they were like slightly different shapes, even though they should all have been even, I marked them as a quick 1, 2, 3, just so I could make sure they were facing the right direction and going the right way as I'm working on the pieces here. So I'm starting with my biggest piece first. And I got really lucky because this is one I had used for like some punched out circles, and it fit exactly within those spaces. And I didn't have to trim anything out. So I'm tracing it with my pen here, kind of loosely. Like I said, these are not exact lines. But what I am going to do is pull out my trimmer and trim these out so that the lines are like super, super straight. So I'm just kind of examining it there, making sure it looks fairly straight and kind of lined up with the pattern. And then I'm pulling out my 12x12 Making Memories trimmer, and I'm going to trim this so it's got nice, even, straight lines. So then I start working on creating the 3 smaller triangle pieces so that meow pattern is the back of the kitten paper. I end up using a piece of that enlarged kitten paper, but then not using it. And I don't use that paw print either. They were just a little too close in pattern. So after I had cut out the larger kittens, it just did not look right. So I kind of skipped some of that part of the footage going forward. So the piece I started with first was the heart in the middle. Just kind of trying to line it up to my light there that's above my computer, so I can see which part of the heart pattern will be showing, so I can just get a good piece of like the design. And I picked that one going with the triangle that's facing with the point down, because the hearts face the same direction. So here I'm using my smaller 6x8 We Are Memory Keeper trimmer just to trim the nice thin lines. I like using that one on my desk whenever I can because it's so much lighter and easier to drag around than my larger one. So here I am. I still haven't decided to switch out the pattern, and you can see the cats are just too similar together. I should have gone back to either the pink plaid or the paw prints, but so I decided that what I need is to put it on a background, and I start with a black background thinking that it would be really nice and contrasting, and it is, but it's like just a little bit too much. So before I've even gone to the white background that you'll see, here I am cutting out a piece of the patterned stripe paper, which I actually really do like. It's kind of bright and fun, and it helps pull the colors in, and it kind of gives your eye like a starting place for looking around the layout. So I finally realized that the black paper is just too strong. I grabbed the white cardstock, and my original plan was to potentially pop up some of these pieces for dimension, or I had printed out these journaling blocks and I just could not get them to look right. They were too stark, and so I ended up doing handwritten journaling instead. And then I also decided to add this cute picture of my two kittens I haven't scrapped before. I printed it out as a 4x4 onto a 4x6 paper, and then I'm using my 3.5-inch hole punch to punch it out. And then I also took my white cardstock and I ran it through my printer and typed out that real quick title at the bottom in a font called Evelith. So I'm just using my rolling dot adhesive and just lining this up by eye. And then I'm going to do the two outside pieces first, and then the middle piece. That striped piece ends up being a little bit larger, so I kind of have to overlap them a teeny bit, but you can't really tell because the photo kind of covers it. But just to get the outsides nice and aligned, it takes a little bit of the heart paper overlapping the stripes and a tiny bit of adjustment here as well. So before I mount my photo, I want to get my journaling done. And I pulled out these Ellie's Studio puffy stickers that have these brightly colored little dots on them. And I just want to use those to divide in between my little lines of journaling. So I just picked like a orange, a teal blue, a black one, and I think that one's like a red kind of color. I actually can't tell. And then I just grab a simple like Uniball style pen. And my notes say the reasons why I give my cats snacks are they totally deserve them. And like the original teacher, I think, said they're good cats, which is true. But that one says, I want them to love me, which made me laugh. And then this one says, I can't find one of them, which I swear is the biggest piece of the pie. And then the last one says something along the lines of, I've opened something else and they think it's their snack bag, so they come running, kind of, which is also true. I could be opening chips and they're like, ooh, snacks, and they just come running into the kitchen. So I really enjoyed making this layout. It made me laugh. It was kind of fun and lighthearted. Gave me a good opportunity to scrap a photo of the kittens that I hadn't done yet. So I was able to write a little bit larger and get my journaling to fit all the way around. And then here I'm using some foam stickers to pop the photo up and give it a little dimension so it's not all totally flat. And then I have a chipboard piece from the Allie Edwards Pieces kit, says Life's Little Details or something like that. And I'm just layering it off the edge slightly of the photo. And then the last thing I'm going to do is grab my One Canoe 2 date stamp and my VersaFine ink and just add a little tiny date stamp in the bottom right hand corner. So I'm really happy with how this came out. It was actually a pretty quick layout once I got my patterns fixed, and I'll leave you with a close-up here at the end. Thanks so much for watching.